Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something that could genuinely put some serious cash back into your bank account. The experts at ProTax Accountant have put together this fantastic guide on how to claim tax back on tools you buy for work, and we're going to walk you through it step by step. So let's get right into it. Okay, first things first, let me ask you something. Are you an employee right here in the UK? And do you have to buy your own tools for your job? Wrenches, power drills, any kind of specialist gear. If you're nodding along thinking, yep, that's me, then you're going to want to listen very closely because you could be owed hundreds of pounds from HMRC. No joke. So here's what we've got on the agenda today. We'll kick things off with the basics, what this rebate actually is and who can claim it. Then, the part you've been waiting for, how much money you can get. We'll go through the whole claims process, show you how to claim for more than just your tools, and crucially, how to avoid the common mistakes people make. And finally, we'll talk about getting your money back with some expert help. All right, let's start at the beginning. Section 1, the basics. What in the world is a tool tax rebate? And more importantly, are you one of the many people who could be getting this money back? Let's find out. So, what are we talking about here? Well, a tool tax rebate is basically tax relief from HMRC. It's specifically for employees, that's a key word, who have to use their own money to buy, fix, or replace tools that are absolutely essential for their job. And the other big piece of the puzzle? Your employer isn't paying you back for them. So, how do you know if this is for you? It's pretty straightforward. You're probably eligible if 1. You're an employee on PAYE and you buy your own tools. 2. Those tools are only for your job. 3. Your boss doesn't pay you back in full. And 4. You've paid UK income tax. Now, who is this not for? It's not for self-employed people. You guys claim expenses on your self-assessment. And obviously, if your job provides all your tools, you can't claim.
Okay, now for the part I know you're all interested in, the payoff. Just how much money are we talking about? How much can you actually get back in your pocket? Let's break down the numbers.
You've basically got two ways you can do this. The first is called the flat rate allowance. Think of this as the easy mode. HMRC has a fixed amount for your industry, and you can claim it every year, no receipts needed. Simple. The other way is an actual cost claim. This is what you do when you've spent a lot more than the flat rate. You'll need your receipts for this, but it's absolutely the way to go for those big, expensive purchases. And here's a look at what those flat rates actually are for the 2025 to 2026 tax year. You can see carpenters and electricians can claim a flat rate of £140, mechanics and plumbers £120. And here's a pro tip. Even if your job isn't on this list, you can usually claim a general allowance of £60. It's literally free money you might be missing out on. So, what does a £140 allowance actually mean for you? Well, you get back the tax you would have paid on that amount. So, if you're a basic rate taxpayer paying 20% tax, you'd get £28 back in your pocket each year. Now, I know what you're thinking, £28, that's nice, but it's not life-changing. But this is where it gets really interesting. Because you can go back and claim for the last 4 tax years. So if you've never done this before, that £28 a year suddenly becomes a claim for 5 years in total. That's this year plus the 4 you're backdating. Suddenly, that small annual rebate turns into a lovely lump sum of £140. And remember, that's just using the simple no receipts needed flat rate. Now, if you've got some big expenses, claiming the actual cost is a real game changer. Just to show you the power of this, let's look at a quick example. Imagine a carpenter who spent £1,000 on some new tools. By claiming for the actual cost, they could get £200 back. This just goes to show why it is so important to keep your receipts, especially for those bigger purchases. Okay, so you're eligible, you know there's money out there with your name on it. So what's the next step? Well, how do you actually get this money from HMRC? Let's walk through the process. The quickest, most direct way to do this is by claiming online on the HMRC website. You just log into your personal tax account, find the bit for job-related expenses, and pop in your details. If you're claiming for actual costs, you can even just upload photos or scans of your receipts. It's designed to be pretty simple, and your claim is usually processed within about 8 weeks. Now, if you're not a fan of doing things online or you just prefer good old-fashioned paper, you can always claim by post using something called a P87 form. You just download it, fill it out, pop copies of your receipts in the envelope, and send it off. Just a heads up, this way is a bit slower. You're probably looking at a 10 to 12-week wait for it to be processed. Right, you know how to claim for your tools, but stay with me here, because this next part is where you can seriously boost your refund. This is about looking beyond the toolbox. You see, when you put in a claim for your tools, you can, and you absolutely should, include any other work-related expenses you've had at the same time. We're talking about things like washing your uniform, work-related mileage in your own car, professional fees, and even some costs from working at home. And the numbers on these can be pretty surprising. If you have to wash a branded uniform, you can claim a flat rate for it. A paramedic, for example, can claim a whopping £185. If you use your own car for work, not counting your commute, that's 45p a mile you can claim. Paid a subscription to a trade union, you can claim relief on that too. And if you have to work from home, that's another £6 a week. All these little bits really do add up to a much bigger refund. That's not all, though. Before you rush off to fill out that form, let's talk about where most people go wrong and, more importantly, how you can avoid it. Getting this right the first time saves a lot of headaches down the line. Okay, let's look at the top 3 pitfalls. Number 1, no receipts. This is an absolute deal breaker if you're claiming for the actual cost of your tools. Number 2, claiming for something your employer has already paid you back for. That's a definite no-no and will get your claim rejected. And number 3, missing that 4-year deadline. Once that window closes on a tax year, that money is lost for good. So we've covered what you can claim and how you can claim it. The crucial point is knowing that you're entitled to this money. But what's the absolute easiest way to make sure you get every single penny you're owed without any of the stress? Well, let's look at getting some expert help. Look, the reality is, this can all feel a bit complicated. You might be worried about making a mistake, filling out the wrong form, or just leaving money on the table. And that's where a tax specialist is worth their weight in gold. They can manage the entire process for you, making sure you get the maximum possible refund you're entitled to. If you want to make this whole process as easy and stress-free as possible, the best thing to do is just talk to the experts who put this guide together. You can get in touch with Pro Tax Accountant directly on WhatsApp or by phone on 07985 689 912, or you can drop them an email at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk. And hey, for more fantastic, clear advice just like this, make sure you hit subscribe on the Pro Tax Accountant YouTube channel. They're always putting out really helpful guides to help you save money. And if you want to read through all this information in your own time, you can find the full detailed article over on the Pro Tax Accountant blog. The link is right there for you. And finally, just a quick but important disclaimer. The information we've talked about today is for general guidance. Everyone's tax situation is a little bit different, so you shouldn't rely on this exclusively to make financial decisions. We always recommend speaking with a qualified professional, like the brilliant team at Pro Tax Accountant. Thanks for watching, and good luck claiming back the money you're owed.